The king forced his daughter to marry a pig and made her live a miserable life, just like a pig. In reality, this king had 3 very beautiful daughters. One day, the king was preparing to go to the market and asked his daughters what gifts they wanted. The eldest daughter said she wanted a golden dress. The second daughter said she wanted a silver dress. But the youngest daughter said, "I want a talking grape, a smiling apple, and a peach that sounds like a bell." These things couldn't be found in the market, but the king deeply loved his daughter, so he decided to try his best to find them. The king bought dresses for his eldest and second daughters, but when it came to the youngest daughter, he asked every merchant, but each one told him they had never seen such things. Just as he was about to give up, suddenly there was a loud noise, and the wheels of the king's carriage got stuck in a deep pit. The news quickly spread through the nearby villages, and the women and children came to help, but no one could pull the carriage out. At this moment, a pig appeared. It said it could help the king, but in exchange, the king must marry his third daughter to it. Without hesitation, the king agreed. The pig then used its nose to push the wheels of the carriage, and with a strong nudge, the carriage was freed. Soon, the king returned to his palace. He gave the dresses to his eldest and second daughters, and sadly told the youngest daughter that he could not find the special gifts she had asked for. Just then, there was another loud noise outside. The king looked out of the window and saw the pig coming with a small cart, ready to marry the princess. However, the king had only tricked it. He never intended to marry his daughter to a pig, so he had a maid put on the princess's dress and sent her to meet the pig. But the pig immediately recognized that it wasn't the princess. Meanwhile, the youngest daughter learned of everything and began to cry in sadness. At this point, the king came up with another plan. He dressed his daughter in shabby, dirty clothes and sent her off, hoping the pig would change its mind. However, when the pig saw the princess, it was overjoyed, quickly lifted her onto the cart and took her back to its home. It was a filthy pigsty, and the pig made the princess sit on a pile of dirty straw, which made her even more sorrowful. The pig gave her some dry corn cakes, and the princess ate them with difficulty, then cried herself to sleep. The next morning, when the princess woke up, she found herself lying on a silk bed. She could hardly believe her eyes. The filthy pigsty had turned into a magnificent palace. At that moment, a group of servants entered and began to dress her up. Soon she was transformed from ragged clothes into a real princess and was taken to the palace banquet hall. There, a handsome young man was waiting for her. The young man didn't tell the princess who he was, but took her to the garden. There, he showed her a talking grape, a smiling apple, and a peach that rang like a bell. The princess looked at all this, amazed and hardly able to believe her eyes. It turned out he was a king who had been cursed by a witch and turned into a pig. But the witch had told him that if he found a talking grape, a smiling apple, and a peach that sounded like a bell, the curse would be broken. Later, this king held a grand wedding, celebrating his happiness with the princess.